Hi and welcome to Säkerhetspodcasten, live sort of at SecT. Me and Peter are sitting here with Ulf Frisk that just got off stage talking about total meltdown.
Thank you.
Tell me more.
It was a user to kernel local privilege escalation vulnerability that I found in Windows 7 back in March, which I then thought was already fixed and which I then got an okay from Microsoft to release a blog entry about. Only problem was that it wasn't fixed and I just released a 0-day kernel code execution in Windows 7.
Ouch.
And that's fairly... how much serious can a vulnerability be?
It was a local privilege escalation issue, so it wasn't
Yeah,
remote,
it could have been remote.
Could have
yes.
been it was kind of awesome to see that Microsoft was actually able to push out an out-of-band kernel security update for hundreds of millions of PCs in order to protect your users in like less than 2 days after I released my blog entry about this one.
Yeah,
and that really caught my eye actually. That they're able to do things like.
But from your understanding, except that they had been fiddling with this and obviously had test rigs for testing the previous fixes. You don't think that before your blog post they had any heads up that they actually managed to do this in 2 days from your understanding?
I mean, they've probably been touching that part of the code since the vulnerability as such, it arose when they were like fixing the meltdown patches from January, and the meltdown patch for Windows 7 actually contained this vulnerability then. So they were like already poking around that part of
you
the
can
code
you can imagine that they had tons of different variants of hardware ready for memory and testing for this, but it's still pretty amazing turnaround.
Yeah, I think that's so, and I mean why I missed it and why they missed it as well. It was actually partly fixed in the March patches already, and why I don't know. So
do you know how they found that problem? How they fixed it partly, sort of?
I have no idea at all. It might be that they just did some quality improvements on like the meltdown code that they rolled out in January, and it happened by accident, or they might have found it. I don't.
So you haven't seen anyone who had done binary analysis and seen if there is.
No, I was like the first one finding this vulnerability, and I was like kind of amazed over that actually that no one had found it before me. So it was like it was kind of easy to spot with the tools I built just a month before.
Yeah, but that's probably one important aspect. You had visualization tools into something which is, I mean, to other people who not used those tools, you don't know how the page table looks. That's not a normal user experience, knowing how the page table looks.
No, but I would still imagine that some people were looking at it, but I guess not. And it's Windows 7, so it's a little bit old. I guess most people are looking at more recent stuff. And I found it by accident, really, by just debugging my tools, and I wanted my newly developed PCI Leech memory process file system to work on like Windows 7 dumps as well. So that's why I looked into it, and I just found it by pure accident because it was so visible in the tools that I just created. It really stood out when I was looking at the files.
Yeah.
I didn't get the relationship between the memory process file tool and the PCI Leech. Is it part of the PCI Leech software package, or is it a separate tool?
Actually, it's built into the PCI Leech. I talked about PCI Leech before here, like direct memory access attacks, DMA attacks.
We love those presentations.
Insert a piece of hardware in the computer, and you're able to read and write to memory. And since last year, the hardware I was using sold out, so I created, started to use FPGAs instead, and then I can access all memory, and I can access it in other ways. And then I thought would be interesting to be able to represent processes and process memory and the things in the processes as files, because then you can use your favorite whatever tool on the files and script against it or whatever. You can use your favorite tools. So I built it into the PCI Leech toolkit to that functionality. So I had some file functionality in there before.
Yeah, no, and as you said, when you just open it in Notepad and look here, you got kernel and the user process has write permissions, and it looks, I mean, like you say, it looks fairly obvious with that tool.
Yeah, the thing was like, if I wouldn't have created the tool in the month before, I wouldn't have found this
exactly.
one. So, it was really dependent on that one, and it was like pure.
So depending on how you describe it, you can say you spent months building up to this finding, or you can say I just opened Notepad.
Yeah, I mean both are true. So
they are variants of the truth.
Yeah. So I was surprised when I found this one, and as I said in the beginning, I do think Microsoft did an awesome job actually patching this like super quick. I was like, it's really super impressive to see, and that we're able to do like this in 2 days for like a
but this is kind of huge testament to the power of visualization tools.
Yeah. And I think it's the memory process file system. It's working with memory dump files. So if you wish to check it out, please do so. I think it's kind of awesome. I've also seen like people using it for other things as well already with the FPGA devices to do like live process analysis on target systems and things like that. And I just recently released a DLL file, so you can include it in your own projects as well. So,
do you know if Microsoft's Security Response Center have bought some of those tools? Because I can imagine they would be interested.
I could wish. I mean, it's like it's actually published as open source on GitHub now, so it's just free for all to download. But yeah, that would be awesome. So
yeah.
Has there been any progress on the DMA attack side? That is, have they launched any new countermeasures that makes the attack harder? Because I knew last year that when you spoke last year, that really gave me a heart attack. That talk.
Yeah, actually, it's been happening a lot in the last year, both from the attacker side and the defender side. Like last year, Apple pretty much fixed all their stuff with the High Sierra release. And now in March, in Windows 10, the March 1803 released, Microsoft fixed everything with regards to Thunderbolt 3 pretty much. So it's like that part is like totally secure now, and they're working on fixing the other things as well. So they're putting a lot of engineering effort into actually thwarting my tools, and it's nice to see that like the platform is getting there really. So, and they put a lot of effort into it. But on the other hand, on the attacker side, as I mentioned, since last year I got the FPGAs up and running, and that gives me a lot of more capabilities as well, and the capabilities to, for example, do things like that, like this file system that I just talked about. So that's kind of interesting as well. But I mean, the industry as a whole is getting there, and also firmware vendors and computer vendors are actually starting to fix the DMA things on new computers. So it's kind of nice to see that what I'm doing is having effect. So.
Yeah.
So any year now will probably be secure-ish, and then they invent a new hardware interface.
I don't know. I think they learned the lesson. I mean, it's like it's amazing to see that there are. I mean, the hardware that is needed to protect against my things, it's already in there, so it's just a matter of starting to use it. But you have a huge legacy base and drivers and things like that to take care of, so it's not easy for them to do it. But it's really nice to see that the industry as a whole is actually pushing forward, securing their stuff, and I guess in any year now it will be totally fixed.
I think the Secti has been a really interesting place where they have shown the local attacks with your presentations on DMA and Ulle and Pasi demonstration on code boats. So yeah, it's getting better, but a lot of things which It can't be that bad.
And I mean, even if it's getting better on new systems, you have a lot of legacy hardware out there, so it takes time to replace old things. So, but I think the important thing is that we are getting there, and I'm like really confident for the future in that part, in like securing the systems and things like that.
And you still will need to recheck every once in a while, so there isn't some big security reversion.
Yeah, I guess so. Like for example, the one I found now, so it was like it wasn't really hardware related though, but it was kind of nice to be able to do some demos on stage and not having a lot of hardware for the first time ever as well. So I really like that. So it's
Thanks for a really great presentation, and we'll see you later.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much.